and to close the door. Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's move on the third panel and refer to the topic of universities as drivers for social and physical transformation of cities, led by the Polytechnic of Milan. And I invite Professor Emilio Faroldi, Professor Maddalena Buffoli, Professor Yosuke Komiyama, Dr. Ueno Takashi, to come up on stage. Okay, sir, thank you. And as before, I ask to the control room to start the video. Thank you.
Since 1863, Politecnico di Milano has been the largest scientific technological university in Italy, combining engineering and creativity, with a passion for innovation and development of the city and the region. Over time, it has expanded its presence throughout the city of Milan, establishing direct contact with local communities and positively and deeply influencing the urban environment in which it has set up its various campuses. In 2023-2024, the campus had 47,000 enrolled students who experienced the spaces, classrooms, and shared laboratories, in line with the spirit of collaboration that deeply animates the university's teaching and activities.
Politecnico di Milano builds upon a combination of cutting-edge laboratories and a spirit of collaboration. This unique feature forms the foundation of the Politecnico students' practical and technology-oriented problem-solving approach to afford societal challenges. Politecnico integrates sustainability into its core mission, fostering innovation while caring for people and the environment. With more than 3,000 patents, 120 spin-offs, and over 200 startups, the university plays a key role in dynamic innovation ecosystem. Politecnico di Milano also stands as a model of urban regeneration, contributing significantly to the transformation and improvement of the urban landscape.
È stata una bellissima avventura quella lì. Era forse il primo grande aeroporto, poi sono stati fatti tanti grandi aeroporti, ma era stato il primo. Ma doveva per forza celebrare il viaggio.
Politecnico di Milano provides a concrete and technological contribution to the MUSA project through its living labs, energy efficiency initiatives for buildings, well-being, monitoring programs, and more. The university's laboratories, hands-on expertise, and strong technological focus synergistically contribute with the projects of other institutions. Numerous strategic collaborations have been established with the Politecnico's involvement, widely recognized as an indispensable asset for the multi-level urban regeneration effort of the MUSA.
An entire urban area is regenerated. The example, the old gasometers in Bovisa, become an example of innovation.
Se vuoi fare una piccola città universitaria, un campus, devi mettere i piedi dove già ce l'ha messi qualcun altro. È inutile andare a spaccare tutto, no? E quindi questo era già un elemento forte. Indicava già la strada. Era il DNA, si potrebbe dire, no? E i luoghi, dicevo ancora una volta, parlano, e lo so che era una fabbrica, ma in fondo l'università, il campus, è una fabbrica, è un luogo dove succedono le cose straordinarie. Poi il Politecnico è una scuola straordinaria, è una scuola multitask, si potrebbe dire, no? Politecnica, una scuola dove si insegna di tutto, si insegna a costruire, si insegna a costruire con poesia, sì? Attenti alla storia. Bene, allora esiste questa pianta guardatela un po', non voglio annoiarvi troppo a lungo, ma capite subito che qui il progetto è fatto su dove già c'era, era stato costruito. Anzi, noi costruendo restituiamo al botto e alle superfici drenanti più di quello che c'era precedentemente. E questo credo che sia una buona cosa. Ricordatevi una cosa, semplice, semplice. L'architettura non risponde solo ai bisogni, risponde anche ai desideri.
Universities are catalysts of knowledge, innovation, and civility for the environment. The contribution of the Politecnico to the city of Milan completes an urban ecosystem in which education, research, and business collaborate for the common good. The campus is not part of the city. The campus is the city. 3 poles, 1 vision. Milan as a sustainable, inclusive, and intelligent city. The Politecnico di Milano offers open, accessible, and through its architecture, educating campuses.
Thank you. Emilio Feroldi, you told, and campus is the city. So, and Emilio Feroldi is executive vice rector responsible for the development and enhancement of university spaces at the Politecnico of Milan. And I leave the room for your presentation.
Thank you very much. I hope I won't bother you too much. University campuses, as I told you before, are among the main protagonists in strategies for redesigning entire part of city. They are places of innovation and experimentation that have historically translated the cultural growth of a civilization into the physical form of its spaces. University and city represent social phenomena rooted in centuries of history, consolidating both primitive and evolutionary forms. Changes that for the Politecnico involve in its campuses, in Milan as well as in its satellite campus in Italy and in China. Technological progress, urban policies, the effect of the global process and constant change form that foundation of the teaching and research program. Since 2017, the Politecnico has launched an investment strategy to modernize its infrastructure. The goal is to reach international quality standard and compete with the best European and global universities. To this end, we have recently designed 3 master plans that aim to redesign part of the city, seeking a renewed identity. The organization of university campuses in Milan is today a central theme in discussion of the city of the future growth. The etymology of the word campus refers to the act of containing. In the new known as Bovisa, the Renzo Biano Building Workshop is working with us at the Politecnico di Milano on a plan for the university development of growth. The infrastructural system, once again, become the structural backbone of the Politecnico's spatial layout. We have chosen to propose the idea of open campuses, promoting inclusion, accessibility, and equal opportunities. A place where innovation thrives, a cultural vision rooted in a social responsibility lives on, characterized by a sustainable approach and the constructions on aiming to the significantly reduce CO2 emissions. Campuses that support circular economy principles, aligned with a strong sense of sustainability in education and in advanced research across all fields of engineering, architecture, and design. Where human interaction, the value of sports, leisure, and widespread well-being define a civilized lifestyle. Our campus transformation project propose a rethinking integrated with the city through the enhancement of open and social spaces between memory and identity. Universities are becoming key urban actors capable of simulating territorial, economic, and the social development process, able to initiate complex urban transformation in strategic location, establishing new productive and research centers. Milan has made the university new protagonist in its urban regeneration and innovation strategies. The city of higher education has gradually replaced the industrial city, even physically occupying its former spaces. Universities have become fundamental players in urban transformation process. A synergetic dialogue between the quality of work, study, and social spaces, and that of research of teaching is essential. The Politecnico has focused its effort on enhancing and adapting the morphology and function of its architectural heritage in the campuses where it is rooted. At the Leonardo campus, by combining the new structure and contemporary project with the spirit of the memory and the history. At Bovisa, through the introduction of connective and social spaces that are currently missing. The Vivi Polimi project, which I had the pleasure of designing and coordinating, has played a key role in urban regeneration. But let me bring you inside our campuses for a few minutes. In black and white, what we were, and in colorful pictures, how we are today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Faroldi. And we move to the next presentation by Maddalena Buffoli, and who is a professor of urban health and environmental hygiene at the School of Architecture, Urban Planning, Construction, Engineering of the Polytechnic of Milano. Maddalena, please.
Thank you, and good afternoon to everybody, and thanks to MUSA to invite me at this event. How it's work? Okay. Based on my background, I would like to briefly present the main urban health action that the Politecnico di Milano is carrying out on its campus to make our city healthier, following a One Health vision. I would like to start my presentation with the WHO definition of health as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely in the absence of disease or infirmity. This definition is important because in the light of the growing phenomenon of urbanization in our cities, including Milan, it becomes a priority to take a real action to make our city healthier and to reduce all urban risk factors. In this context, university can be a driver for social and physical transformation of cities, increasing sustainability and public health, as it is happening in Milan. Specifically, Politecnico has been committed for years to improve the environmental sustainability, efficiency, and health of the entire cities, thanks to a series of urban health actions with the goal of addressing the key priority with the greatest impact on public health. These urban health strategies have been implemented in different ways across all areas managed by Politecnico, which, as you can see, are connected to the territory with a strong network of campuses and services, such as, for example, off-campus or other students' residence. We are conscious of the positive effect that green spaces have on health and environment. So, this is why in the new Bovisa project, designed by Renzo Piano Building Workshop, 24 hectares of public woodland will be fully preserved and maintained. The forest will also be connected to the other urban parks, with a strong impact on urban ecosystem services. In addition, 16,600 new trees will be planted, permitting to the forest to blend with the campus. Even in existing campuses, green spaces have been significantly expanded and improved, thanks to the intervention that transformed previously used parking areas, like we have just seen in the video. These new spaces are used by both university members and local residents. Creating spaces for socialization and meeting is also very important for health promotion. For this reason, in the Città Studi campus, 3 new urban squares open directly to public streets have recently been created. These spaces are fully accessible and inclusive thanks to the use of universal design strategies. With the global climate crisis, water management is one of the most crucial aspects of urban transformations. So, in the design of the new Bovisa campus, the footprint of the project buildings will be smaller than in the pre-existing industrial footprints. This is an important example and message for the sustainability of our future city. Particular attention has also been given to the principles of the circular economy. So all industrial buildings are being reused. The structures of the new buildings will be primarily made of wood, and it has been calculated that the wood used will be offset within 30 years by the trees that have been planted. The new campus is located in a suburban area, Bovisa, but is highly accessible thanks to the 2 train stations, which will be fully redeveloped, providing a service to the entire cities. While in the Città study that is already highly connected, our strategies have focused on improving walkability, with the goal of expanding a car-free urban area. Bovisa is an area that before the arrival of the Politecnico was socially and environmentally critical, with many abandoned spaces. Thanks to the development of the 2 campuses, this part of the city will be completely regenerated and became more attractive to all Milan residents. Also in the Città Studi campuses has seen an increase in services and spaces for both students and citizens, like, for example, the regeneration of a public sport faculty. The name is Giuriati. At least the new campus will be a 0 carbon dioxide emission campus, thanks to the technology employed and the installation of more than 40,100 square meters of photovoltaic panels. No, sorry, I go too fast. Okay, this is the last one. The decarbonization goal involves all Politecnico campuses. Actually, we have already reduced emissions by 24% compared to 2015, with the goal of achieved net 0 carbon emission by 2040. This ambitious goal supports the European Green Deal, which aims for climate neutrality of Europe by 2050. And it also matches the vision of the city of Milan, one of the 100 European cities working to reach these goals by 2030. And this is the last, so thanks for your participation.
Thank you, Maddalena. So we are very glad to have other 2 representatives from Japan, and one from the university, and Yusuke Komiyama. And thank you, Yusuke, and who is a senior lecturer and at the Graduate School of Engineering, Division of Architecture and Architectural Engineering. Please, for your presentation.
Thank you for introduction. I'm quite honored to have an opportunity to talk about my project today. Today I'm going to talk about my industry, academia, collaborative type of researches and my design project with university's neighborhood. But just before that, I'm going to a little bit talk about my university, Kyoto University. Kyoto University is the 2nd oldest national university in Japan. The oldest is the University of Tokyo. Then Kyoto University was established to be an alternative to the University of Tokyo. So University of Tokyo were designed to kind of educate like a student for civil servant or government officials, whereas the Kyoto University is designed to be a place for free, independent researchers. So in this sense, they were quite honored to have 11 Nobel Prize winners. But I personally graduated from the University of Tokyo, so I have a little bit complex feeling on this. But one of maybe the character is the position of the Department of Architecture in the university. So this is showing the structure of Kyoto University, where I put a red square where the professors of architecture belonged to. So the knowledge of architecture was quite distributed into the different structure of universities. So somehow I might say the knowledge of architecture is a little bit more integrated into the diversity of university. Then we have 3 campuses inside of Kyoto City. The main headquarters is Yoshida, but I belong to the Katsura campus. It's a little bit far from the city center, but on the western edge of Kyoto. So what I'm going to talk about today is my project with neighborhood around this Katsura campus area. But unfortunately, our campus is not as beautiful as Politecnico di Milano, so there will be no pictures of my campus. But I will take professors to my campus tomorrow, so I'm interested in how they make comment. But I'm personally an architect, mainly working on timber construction, so my projects are either brown or green, because I'm mainly working with wood. But my research focus is something like this, kind of circular construction or sustainable construction. I think you have seen a lot of this kind of circular diagrams around timber construction, or maybe many of the expo pavilions, because they are designed to be reused. But I think this kind of pure, complete circle doesn't always work. So I think there are a lot of missing links still, I think. So I'm working on these several researches to fulfill the missing links. And I think this pavilion, Italian pavilion, is for sure that it will be reused in good way. But I think many pavilions, they are still in question whether they can be reused or not. So this is one of my research focus. Then this is where I have a little bit link with Italian culture. As one of my industrial academia collaboration research is the research with a company called Rotobras. They are located in South Tyrol or North Italy. So they are a company of this kind of metal fastener for timber construction. And they have this product called X-Rad, which is specifically designed to be kind of easily deassembled. So it's kind of designed to be reused. So I quite like this idea. So I try to localize this technology to Japan. So I've been doing several structural experiments to make it work. Then I worked with the company to come up with a kind of construction system which is easy to deassemble and assemble again. Then I sometimes do architectural design based on this technology, but which I didn't win the competition to build it, but I managed to build a part of it. But I don't have enough time to talk about this project today. But as an architect/researcher in university, I try to make a prototype or exemplar project with a hope that this prototype can transform the society. But at the same time, I'm working with students as a kind of living lab or design-build type of education. Then today I'm going to talk about this project more. This is a diagram I recently made. What it shows is when we say timber construction or wooden building is sustainable, which only makes sense when it works with growth of trees, growth of forest or forest management. So in some way, we need to think about the balance of the speed of growth of forest versus our time span of use of timber in our society. Because if we dispose timber in a shorter period than forest growth, then we will run out of forest. So we need a balance of time. So that means we need to make it longer use of timber in our society. And then sometimes we need to think about cascade use or reuse or recycle of timber. Then I'm working with students to come up with kind of nice design of sometimes furniture or sometimes pavilion using waste or offcut from the factory or construction site. And these are some of the works students came up with. they are using the offcut from the factory and also waste material from the deconstruction site. Then these furnitures being kind of accepted by the university, then now they are used in our library to be a kind of bench or desk for student. And also display stand. Then this idea also accepted by the local community. So we designed the chairs and shelves for a community center of the local park. Then we made it with as a workshop with children in local community. Then this is another project to, again, create a chair from the waste. The project started with the call from the local community center, which they are going to refurbish their space, but they want to create a chair for their new space. So I proposed, why don't you keep your waste material from the deconstruction site? Then we will think about how we can convert these waste to the chairs or furnitures. So I asked the contractor to keep the materials safe. Then student made a list of materials. Then we did a little bit of cutting in using our workshop in the university. Then we also made a recipe of chairs so that everyone can follow this recipe to make the furniture and chairs by themselves, even without supervision of us. Then we made this recipe so that anyone can make chairs without using a nail or hammers. So it's very safe to make it. So we get local children to involve this making. Then in the end, we made these stackable chairs, kind of module chairs for the community space. So this experience kind of made us to be kind of team up of this kind of upcycling team inside of the laboratory. So I think we are ready to transform the society now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Komiyama, and obviously from the Kyoto University. And okay, we finished this panel with the last presentation by Dr. Ueno Takashi, and who works on the topic of urban development and development of local industries with the universities at the Future Design Center of the Rico 3L company. Thank you.
So good afternoon. I'm Takashi Ueno from the Rico Company Limited in Japan. So at the beginning, I would like to say that I appreciate for the all because my first project with the Milano, it's maybe 7, 8 years ago. Then, but you know, the first project was to organize the post-expo based urban development in Milano, Milano Innovation District. But you know, today I'm in the Osaka Expo. Thank you for inviting me. So, on today I would like to explain the proposal. Our activity regarding university-centered urban redevelopment. At the beginning, I would like to, I introduce who is RICO. RICO is, mainly RICO is covering B2B segment, B2B business. So the only limited people knows well, but we don't have big consumer business. Maybe the majority of people doesn't know or didn't know, I don't know. So, however, the RICO, we are the global leading company for the office equipment, included the copy machine for the office or something. Totally, we are having less than 80,000 employees. Then also we are having, it's an old record, but at the moment we are almost 1.5 million clients in the 200 countries, such as the office, such as university, such as hospital, a lot. This is our business segment. Then I'm in charge of the new business development at 3L. 3L is as Future Design Center of the RICO. So the RICO, the future design, what is future design? At the moment in Japan, I guess that maybe not only Japan and Italy, it's almost the same. It's a rapidly growing, aging society. Also, a lot of the digitalization, digital transformation included AI, replaced to the new society, new world. Nobody knows what is the future. Then, if so, how can we build the future for our business segment or others? Then this is the reason why RICO established the Future Design Center. Then, of course, the future design is just future design, planning, designing, something like that. But a lot of the new technology, also the collaborating new technologies from the university we are doing. The one of the cases is the human-centered life design. We exhibited at the Milano Design Week on this April. Yeah, I mean the sofa integrated a lot of the sensor. If anyone sits down the sofa, of course the sofa detected your emotion, your vital, your feeling. Also, such all of these data visualized on the wall. We presented such technology at the Milano Design Week. Then the publisher and the editor selected we are the best AI tech the creative AI creative tech at Tortona Street. Then it's very we are very happy because we are a bit higher than Lexus. So also we are also started to collaborate with a lot of universities. Not only Japan. Then of course why we are doing the open innovation with the university. Of course, not only university. Then of course we would like to develop also distribute unique and innovative solution and technology, also idea in a university to our the client via our channel in the 200 countries. Then if so, again I'm in charge of the new business development and design at the Future Design Center to cover for any tech project, also open collaboration for global our client. My birthplace was Kyoto. This is the reason why I respected the Professor Komiyama. Yeah. So it's quite unique. My birthplace of the Kyoto and the Milano, it's almost similar population, the number of the population. Yeah, it's 1.4 million. Then also the Kyoto is not in the Kyoto prefecture. Kyoto City is the highest ratio of the university student to the population in Japan, but it's almost 11%. I believe that Milan is the highest number of that in the university of students to the population in the Italy. But it's quite similar. No, but similar, but the number is of course Milan is too big. Milan is the almost 15%. Kyoto City is 11%. Then of course but Kyoto City, the city council is worried because of aging society. However, I guess between the Milano and Kyoto, it's like similar population pyramid. Actually, the growing the number of the university of students, also student, is how to say the making to the making the balance for the population of the aging and the next generation talent. Then this is the one point why university, the centralized city is quite, the important for, keeping the how say, healthy balance of the city. At the moment, we are focusing on such the two key criteria. One is university-centered urban redevelopment, including innovation driving. Then next one is the integrated curriculum between the unique Japanese style and foreign universities. But why so? At the first, in Japan, as I informed, Japan is rapidly growing the increased number of the aging society. Then, however, in parallel of them, in Japanese society is the rapidly increasing in freelancer and foreign workers. Such an impact is increasing number of the labor force by 10 million people compared to 10 years ago. Yeah. If so, a lot of the Japanese government, Japanese municipalities worry because of shrinking number of population. But the labor, number of the labor is increasing over the 10 million people compared to the 10 years ago. This is currently Japanese status. Then, if so, also as I informed, leveraging the RICO's extensive experience in collaborative development and program support with universities around the world. I'm sorry, I just joined to the RICO at this January, so I didn't know any detail of the collaboration between Polytechnic di Milano. However, I heard from our the Italian branch. The RICO is the two program sponsor for any project in Polytechnic di Milano. Actually, not only Polytechnic di Milano, the long time the RICO is spending the time and budget for supporting the university. However, before RICO is just support to the university via sponsoring. However, now that we have quite interest in the more deeply the relationship with university or any specific school. The reason why, because as I informed, the 10 million the new labor people is generated in the society in case of the Japan. However, such people is not working in office. Office is meaning our the traditional the client. So how can we incubate from the new idea to the any social opportunity? The RICO hope to cover any new younger talent. This is the reason why we have interest. Then we are investigating a lot of the project, but before them, I would like to introduce the two kinds, the university and innovation-based urban development cases in my experience. at the first Kumamoto Prefecture. Okay, this one. Okay. University of Tokyo. University of Tokyo is cultivating cocoa tree for the, maybe over the 50 years. Of course, some of foreign chocolate brand, when they visited to the cultivation house of the University of Tokyo, they have quite impressed because of the high quality and good taste. Compare them the African the cocoa. Then actually between the University of Tokyo and my previous role, established the joint development to incubate to cultivate or to develop the forestation of the cacao in greenhouse. Then of course, but such a cacao house is just engine of renewable energy of the heat for the city and the town. Of course, the cacao in the West Africa, then they are worried about the child labor and cocoa pod waste. But also, cocoa pod waste will be the resource of biomass, the heat. Then, but the biomass heat is providing the nice energy. However, extra heat will be again to develop the next forestation or something like that. Actually, like this activity is generated by university researches. Then, of course, one other case is in the Saga City. This is the whiskey production because of the Spanish company developed quite a unique malt technology. But such a quite unique technology developed such a city. City design and the city. Then actually, a lot of the university. Pinpoint research or pinpoint idea. Also, the result of research did generate a lot of the new the society. Actually, we would like to contribute to any like this the university resource based the town design, town development. This is I would like to explain on today. Thank you very much.
And thank you to you and all the participants of this panel. Thank you again. Polytechnic of Milan. Okay, let's move on to the last panel, referred to the topic of economic impact and sustainable finance, and led by Bocconi University, and which is the third and the universities in Milan in this presentation, of course. And I invite Andrea Beltratti and Gianluca Manca from Bocconi University, and we start with the video.
Bocconi University is a European excellence in economics, management, finance, legal studies, political science, data and computer science, producing extremely valuable results when focusing on the theme of urban regeneration. Founded in 1902, its 350,000 square meter urban campus is an architectural expression of the university's cultural vision. It shares its international vocation with the city of Milan, in which it is fully integrated with its strategic location. There are 15,000 students, 3,700 of whom are international, representing 127 different countries, and 4,300 hours of lectures per year are dedicated to the theme of sustainability.
Bocconi University's involvement in the MUSA project, particularly regarding Spoke 4, is about sustainable finance and the way sustainable finance may help financial well-being and improve living conditions of many agents in the economy, particularly citizens, corporations, and investors. Among the several initiatives that we've realized in the context of Spoke 4, let me particularly mention the realization of a platform, which is called the FEL platform for Financial Education Lab, which is providing free for everyone material that helps teachers, particularly teachers in secondary schools, to teach financial education to students. And of course, the purpose is to help financial education and fostering the debate between students and their families when they discuss what they do in schools.
The project Sustainability and Impact Weighted Accounting Measurement is a project born for helping small and medium-sized enterprises in Italy to integrate the sustainability performances into their managerial decision-making processes. The problem is very simple. If you are not listed and if you are of small size, a micro corporation or a small and medium-sized corporation, usually you do not adopt any reporting based on sustainability. And this is a problem for the strategy, for the value generation of companies, and for incrementing the quality of the decisions taken by managers. So the project has the vision to becoming a center for helping these micro and small medium-sized enterprises in Italy to adopt the best methodology for publishing a sustainability report and to integrate all these measures, all this information into their managerial decision-making processes. This is also good for generating value for the stakeholder, not only for the shareholders, and at the end, for being more sustainable in the future.
The overarching tool we built to fulfill this project's objective is the website srblab.unibocconi.it. The strength of this project lies in the opportunities it provides to small and medium enterprises as well as entrepreneurs to help them navigate the intricate jungle of norms, directives, regulations, and good practices that form the legal backbone of sustainability in Europe.
Spoke 4 has particular attention also relatively to new technological developments, among which, for example, blockchain, with the idea of helping corporations and value chains themselves to efficiently use blockchain technology, which is a fairly new topic, especially for Italy, and that could really help the rate of growth of the Italian economies.
Okay, thank you. Andrea Beltratti and Gianluca Manca are here with us. Beltratti is a professor of economics at the Department of Finance of Bocconi University, rector delegated for MUSA, and of course, a coordinator of the Spoke number 4. Thank you. Thank you, Andrea, for your presentation.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon, everyone. This is joint work with my colleague Alessia Bezzecchi at the SDA Bocconi School of Management. We are going to focus specifically on the financial education part. You've heard from the video that there are many different things that we do. Gianluca is going to focus more on the part of sustainable finance and relations with SMEs, whereas I'm going to mainly focus on the financial education part. This is to remind everyone, particularly people who are not in the room right now, that this is a project that is supposed to actually provide technology transfers to communities. So it is important to keep in mind the goal. The goal is not basic research, the goal is not applied research. The goal is to come up with ideas, opportunities, platforms, things that can actually have an impact and actually help communities. So what have we achieved within this part of the project? We've created this Financial Education Lab, and the mission of the Financial Education Lab is what you read over there. And the idea is to keep in mind that the financial education is a fundamental pillar of education in general. And there are many international rankings of Italian and other students in the OECD. The OECD sort of advocates the goal of measuring financial education all over the world, and there are about 20-25 countries that provide the material, and so their students actually answer basic tests in financial education, and Italy is below the average compared to other international countries. Actually, according to the OECD, if you account for the quality of Italian secondary education, which is fairly high by itself by international standards, the ranking of Italian students in terms of financial education is actually the worst, because they would be supposed to do much better based on the quality of the education that they have in maths, literature, and other subjects. So financial education is important. There are lots of international studies suggesting that a good degree of financial education is associated with, of course, better choices on the part of financial investment, but also savings behavior, which to most people is even more important than investing, because many people do not have enough assets to invest professionally. It is also associated with gender differences, which is a very important topic, and as a result, we believe that financial education is one of the best examples for technological transfers and for the creation of tools that may help society at large. The objectives of the Financial Education Lab are involving students, teachers, schools, companies, and communities, but let me spend 1 minute on this particular objective, because the others are, of course, more general, because the main intuition behind the project is in order to actually reach students, we needed to involve, and their families, we needed to involve teachers. We believe that most financial education projects in Italy have failed, or at least have not reached results that are what could be expected based on the quality of the different projects. And remember, the projects have been conducted by Bank of Italy, the Italian Securities Market Regulator, CONSOB, the Italian Banking Association, many individual banks and corporations, but to some extent, regardless of being active in financial education since the 1990s, I remember it was 1995, and I was cooperating with the Italian Association of Asset Managers in order to create one of the very early websites for financial education. But regardless of all these efforts, Italy still ranks among the worst performers, as we said, in the OECD ranking. Why? We believe a potential problem is we never involved teachers of secondary schools. We've had a big reform, or what was supposed to be a big reform in Italy 3 years ago. The government said we are introducing financial education as a mandatory subject in each school. Actually, nothing happened. And nothing happened because teachers feel they don't have enough tools in order to transmit the right ideas and concepts to students, okay? So this is what we try to do. We try to reach teachers first in order to then get in contact with the students and their families through a series of initiatives, okay? And this is a list of the things that we have already done and we will keep doing for the rest of the MUSA project. The e-learning platform that I'm going to describe very soon. The FEL Forum, it's a sort of conferences and interactive seminars on different topics that we've organized under the MUSA project. Special seminars are more specifically devoted to specific topics. We have a Listen to Finance series of podcasts that are very simple, very easy to understand, lasting like 7-8 minutes each on a range of topics that are of interest to most people. And we have also what we call a FEL competition that we launched a couple of weeks ago. We had one of these FEL forum with about 500 teachers that were online linked to the initiative. And we also launched the FEL competition, the idea being we are going to have schools from all over the country to interact and play play with an educational video game that we've created with the MUSA project together with other tests and ways to sort of attract them and make it funny and interesting. Let me give you in the last 2-3 slides a hint of the way the learning platform works. This is how it presents itself once you actually, and there was a QR code that is helpful to go directly to the platform. This is what you get. There are 2 sections, one for the general public and one for teachers. The idea being there are a few materials for the public as a whole, but there are some specific projects for teachers. And this is what we have. We have 10 courses that are already available in the e-learning platform, and 9 other courses are coming soon, meaning by September, October, because we wanted to get ready by the beginning of the next academic year in Italy in order to allow students and teachers to work. Each course is divided into a number of learning objects. This is another distinctive property of what we do, rather than simply just putting a PPT or a document online. We try to mix. We have video presentations that are themselves divided into 3-4 different blocks in order to last maybe 3-4 minutes each, and in order not to get people bored when watching the videos. There are also intermediate tests and a final test, so that the viewer, the user, can actually verify whether the ideas have been actually understood. There is a glossary, and there is what we call a piccola biblioteca, which is references for further investigation that are linked to the different topics. What we believe is also interesting is that all these videos are pretty simple to use and are pretty funny, we believe, and easy to understand. We've had some preliminary interaction and we've had some experimentation. I was forgetting to say, this comes at the end of a long work that we've had with the teachers themselves. So at the beginning of the MUSA project, we sort of organized through the Bocconi and the MUSA websites and links group work with the teachers. And what was really interesting is that whereas, and let me conclude with this and sum up, whereas we thought that financial education typically involves things like saving and investment, which is the typical academic idea of what is financial education, teachers told us, actually, we would be very interested in having tools to understand what is going on in the economy. So things like demand, supply, the definition of GDP, and what it means when the economy grows, or inflation and the cost of life to us are very important. And we had not thought of creating that, but we actually did it. And another thing that they told us, and let me mention it because this could be helpful to all the different institutions that try to be effective in financial education, is teachers and students want to start from the subjects that they learn in secondary school. So it's hard, perhaps, that they think about saving and investment, but they are attracted by discussions that are associated, for example, with the history they study in school. So we have a video, for example, on the Weimar Republic and the Big Depression of the 1930s in order to explain the root of economic and financial problems in sort of discussing the big historical events of the last century. Another thing that they told us is people are also very interested in the idea of technology and sustainability, and this is exactly the topic that will be dealt with by the next speaker, even though in a different context, having to do with firms rather than schools. So let me sum up. We hope this project which is now available, will have actually an impact and will help deliver financial education through the essential role of teachers that we hope will be interested in what we have done. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Beltratti. Thank you. Thank you very much for your very interesting speech. So we move to the next presentation, Professor Gianluca Manca, and who is an advisor for international banking institutions and at the same time a lecturer at the Executive Master in Finance at SDA Bocconi University. Thank you, Gianluca, for your speech.
Thank you. So you've heard it from the video, but I would like to share a few words as a sign of appreciation for our country host, if I may. Gianluca Manca と申します。今日はどうもありがとうございます。この会議出席することができて非常に光栄に思っております。Now, with this cyclopic effort I put in motion, I wanted to start talking about corporate strategy and financial reporting, which is what we dealt with. When we started to deal with this project, we engaged with the European Commissions, and we realized the magnitude of what we were talking about. When we talk about an ecological transition, we talk about a numeric evidence and a magnitude that is unexpected, at least from our side. Think about this fact. There are 22 million registered entities in Europe, only 0.2% of which are floated in stock markets, and are the primary target of all the Green Deal put in place in Europe in terms of legislation, norms, and directives. So we realized that if we wanted to ease the transition of the highest number possible of the economic tissue of our Europe, we needed to engage with the 99.8% that is composed by micro companies, small, medium enterprises. So what we did basically was a project that wants to engage them all. The purpose of this project is to transform small and medium enterprises into productive enterprises that impact on a better future. And it's very difficult, because if you're a micro entrepreneur, if you're a small enterprise, and you want to follow the architecture of the legislative package in Europe, it's very complicated, especially if you are on the value chain of the bigger companies. So what we want to do, and what we are doing right now, we're trying to facilitate the transition of the smaller entities to understand what they can do and to embed this in the corporate communication and strategy. So the vision is to be the reference center for helping the companies, exactly as we said in the video. And the mission is to partner with all the possible SMEs to let them have at least a reference point through our website and through our help, which is free, of course, for all, in order to start the transitional path they want to go through. Strategy and key activities. So what we do, we measure corporate sustainability reporting voluntary adoption. For small companies, it's not obligatory now in Europe to do anything. So what we are trying to help them do is to try and design a way for each company to be voluntarily approaching this issue and start reporting whatever they do in a way that they can do it. Because we realize that if we take in consideration what's been called in Brussels the trickle-down effect, which is basically what happens if you have a large company that is compliant to the legislation, then the large company, what will it do? It will go to the smaller company, the suppliers of goods and services, and force them to be compliant to the same legislation. But the smaller companies don't have the strength, don't have the power, don't have the resources very often. So what we're trying to do, we're trying to build together with the Commission, together with the European institutions that mold legislations into practical guidelines, a way for each one to be facilitated to go in that direction. Then we want to measure the corporate impact of other societies, which is very difficult, but we're doing it in a very thorough way. We want to understand when a company does something that is considered to be good, what is the actual economic impact in real terms? Think about what happens, for instance, in a hospital. It's natural that if you do something good at some point, there is a positive outcome that can be accounted for in economic terms as well. And this thing is very difficult to do. So with the aid of a high network of small companies, we're trying to spot out who are the leaders and the laggards of facing this problem. We put them together and we try to make them go around the same table to talk to one another, to find out average ways that are good for everyone, so that the experience of one can be the wealth of another. Selection of partner companies is what we do on a daily basis. We try to develop this relationship because alone we cannot do much. We know that as an academy, alone we cannot do much. So we partner with the economic tissue. The fusion of methodology and benchmarking is what we do through the website that you saw in the video. And the website is a kind of a distributor, a disseminator of good practices and news or whatever happens around the world, so that if you're a small company, you want to know what's going on, you go on our website, it's free, you just register, you step into it, and you see whatever is happening to all the companies that are similar to you. So basically, this is the QR code that leads you to the srblab.unibocconi.it, which is the website that brings together all the projects that I talked about. And what we mean to do with this website is to offer a number of things. A deep look through norms and best practices, a sustainability-related news worldwide to understand what's going on the other side of the world. We've seen right now what happens in a very differentiated areas around the globe. Some countries that were supposed to be leading now are retreating or rethinking the way sustainability patterns should be followed. Data sets on various themes, such as the application of sustainability principles. Each company does it in a different way. Each sector does it in a different way. So we're spotting out what each sector is made of in terms of communication on these particular themes. And we try and understand how to help small companies within certain sectors, how to get closer without feeling the economic burden of facing all the necessary steps to go in that direction. Business cases where we outline success factors. This is very important because if we see that a company is doing something good which is very low cost, we try and disseminate this approach to the others for free so that they can just gather around the same table and say, okay, I can do it too. There is a way that has worked already. Sectoral focuses and reviews of third-party research and papers is very important because we want to know what other academies are doing in this very same moment to see if our patterns are followed also by others. And then we also organize events to let them, all companies, meet face-to-face and talk to one another so that they can find the right solutions, not in an agora that is basically extrapolated from reality, but in real terms, in real meetings. And thank you very much. If there's any question, I'd be more than willing to answer.
Thank you, Gianluca Manca. And so we have a series of connection now. So the first one is with Chiara Locati, and who is and head of investor relations and ESGs and investor relations officer for the NORA Group. And Chiara Locati is connected with us. Thank you very much, Dr. Locati, and leave room for your speech.
First of all, thank you very much for inviting the NORA to this very interesting event. I will try to give you an overview on the NORA sustainability commitment. Let me tell you, just as an introduction, that the NORA is a worldwide leader in the electro technologies and in the water treatment solutions, with a very well balanced presence across 3 different continents, including Asia, and in particular in Japan, where we have 2 very important facilities in Fujisawa and Okayama. We launched our sustainability plan and journey in December 2023, following several months of work dedicated at understanding and defining the level of ambition in sustainability that the group wanted to have, with the aim to create sustainable value for all our stakeholders and across our value chain. As you can see in the slide, the NORA defines itself as sustainable by nature or by DNA. This is because the NORA is a group with over 100 years of history rooted in the research and development of technologies that always have been designed primarily to meet the needs of the markets and of customers. However, over the time, our customer needs have naturally aligned with key sustainability topics, principles, even if originally driven by economic motivation. These principles, these topics are energy efficiency, product durability, resource savings. I have in my mind, for instance, noble metals, and all the technologies related to water and wastewater treatment. Our ambition, the NORA ambition, as a leader in the key industrial segment in which the NORA operates, is also play a leading role, a championship role in specific sustainability area which are related to our business model, and particularly we have in our targets green innovation and circular economy. In this slide, you can find the 4 basic pillars of our sustainability strategy. The first pillar is green innovation. This pillar focuses on the continuous development of technologies capable of reducing the environmental impact of our solution and those of our clients, while, of course, maintaining the technical performance of our products. The second pillar you can see is climate action and circular economy. This pillar is dedicated to the reduction and the improvement of environmental impact of our facilities and plant, and also is dedicated to supporting the development of circular production models. We then have a pillar focused on the development, inclusion, and well-being of our people. And finally, the fourth pillar is aimed at building a sustainable value chain across the world, and supporting local community in which the group operates. All these pillars, let me say, are very well orchestrated by a solid governance framework aligned with best international standards. The NORA, through its product and its operation is committed to contribute to the SDGs goals, and in particular we have selected 10 goals you can see displayed in this slide. In this slide, you can also see the main external recognition we received for our ESG activities. And let me say that we are particularly satisfied about the validation we obtained this year by the Science-Based Target Initiatives for our climate target, which is something very important, and it's something that's really underlined the commitment, the serious commitment of the company for the environment. Let's now very quickly have a look at the main targets and initiatives we have in our plan. Let's start with our green innovation pillars. In 2024, we launched and carried out two very important initiatives. The first was to introduce circular design guidelines within our R&D processes. These are guidelines aimed at innovating our products also from the perspective of environmental sustainability and circularity. Based on these guidance that today are embedded in our R&D activities, we then start developing the ESG or sustainability product scorecard. These are identity cards that assess the climate and environmental impact of our technologies. This scorecard will be disclosed to our stakeholders, especially customers that are interested in that, and use it as tools also to continuously improve the efficiency, also in terms of sustainability of our offerings. Our goal is to be able to evaluate, to assess all our products by the end of 2027, starting this year in 2025 with the newest product we have. We also aim to increase the disclosure regarding the impact of our revenues and R&D spending on the SDGs. In 2024, 98% of R&D expenses, 27% of revenues, and 9% of orders were related to projects able to contribute to SDGs, particularly linked to climate action, circular economy, and water treatment. Moving to climate action, our main target is to reduce our emission by 2030 in line with the Paris Agreement. We target a 50% reduction in Scope 1 and Scope 2 emission and a 52% reduction in Scope 3 emission intensity. We also aim to use 100% renewable energy by 2030. To achieve these goals, we have to implement decarbonization plans for all our facility worldwide, and this process is already underway. We are already working on that, and we are also working at the installation of photovoltaic system facilities at our plant to produce directly renewable energy for our production processes. Today, we have a total installed capacity of about 4 gigawatt hours worldwide in different plants in Brazil, Germany, Italy, US. Let's now have a look to our circular economy pillar. Here, in addition to the continuous development of circular models in our production processes, we also have two quantitative goals related to noble metal. You know, noble metal are limited, expensive, and highly emissive during their refining processes. This is why we want to reduce the noble metal use, I mean intensity, in our products by 4% by 2026, and we target to use at least 5% of recycled noble metals always in our products, in our technology by 2030. Now, moving to people. In 2024, we approved and adopted our first diversity, equity, and inclusion policy, and we updated our parental leave policy to include in this kind of support all types of couples, including same-sex and single parents. We are also going to launch initiatives focused on physical and mental health and safety, of course, of our employees. For what concerns supply chain, we aim to progressively increase the percentage of suppliers assessed in terms of sustainability, and we want to be able to engage all our critical and relevant suppliers. In 2025, in particular, we plan to conduct 2 pilot audits on critical suppliers. Finally, as regarding governance, we have specific goals focused on employee training in human rights policies and regulatory compliance. But the thing I would like to underline in this moment is that in terms of governance, 20% of our CEOs' variable compensation and at least 10% of our executives manager are tied on ESG goals and tied on the execution of our sustainability plan. This aligns the management goals with those of the company and those of our stakeholder, of course. I would like to emphasize that the plan we have is really ambitious, both in terms of number and complexity of activities involved. We are speaking about 48, 50 initiatives, a lot. But execution is not something in the responsibility of the Sustainability Office. We have a very strong and well-balanced governance, which enable teamwork thanks to the structure of our ESG Accelerator Lab, which currently includes a permanent team of 6-7 people across different functions: finance, R&D, procurement, operation, HR, legal. And in addition, we can rely on 24 focal points across central offices and plants, and 13 stream leaders responsible for specific areas of the plan. This means that the commitment to sustainability is shared across all levels and all functions of the company. Finally, in this slide, you can find the main 2024 achievement, but instead of describing them, I prefer to offer you a very short video that I asked to be launched. So thank you very much. Thank you very much again for inviting Denora and me, of course. Our journey continues with unwavering enthusiasm and commitment, driven by the ambition to create sustainable value across the entire value chain. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Locati. So we have now another a speech coming from the Nora company, and Dr. Davide Rovelli, and is connected.
Yeah, can you
yes,
see my
okay.
screen?
Yes, Davide Rovelli is
Okay.
a researcher and a consultant in life cycle assessment and the greenhouse gas and the sustainability performance at the Nora company. Dr. Rovelli, thanks for your presence remotely, and you can start your speech. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, first of all, thank you also for providing us the occasion to share our commitment and in detail provide you with more information on how we assess product sustainability. After Chiara's introduction, today I will focus more on the insights of my work and specifically how De Nora aims to contribute to the development of solutions with a reduced environmental impact and how we, as a Green Innovation Function, are promoting this vision within our organization. In particular, Green Innovation is the stream leader for ESG in the R&D function. So basically, it is very focused on driving the journey towards product sustainability. This journey has already reached significant milestones. As you can see in the left part of this slide, we highlighted 3 of our main milestones that we reached in 2024. So firstly, going from the top to the bottom, we want to point out that these achievements did not arise out of nowhere. As early as 2023, we initiated a series of analyses that eventually led to the creation of an internal procedure for conducting life cycle assessment studies. And for those who are not familiar, life cycle assessment is the quantitative and standardized methodology. It is standardized by the ISO standards that is used to calculate the environmental impact of the products. And an example of this kind of results provided by this methodology is the carbon footprint of the product, which represents the sum of all greenhouse gases associated to a specific product. So why should we establish a company-wide procedure for carrying out these studies? Because these kind of studies actually involve various company functions. We range from procurement for the selection of materials. We go to the operations for actual energy and material consumptions in our plants. Then we go to R&D for product specifications and so on. So creating a unified approach is essential for the successful execution of an LCA study. And indeed, the second bullet point that you can see here is one of the results of our internal procedure, because last year we went through the first audit of the carbon footprint of our products. We successfully finished the audits, and now we are even moving beyond towards the development of an automated calculator for the carbon footprints of our products. And this will help us inform our customers on the sustainability performance of our products and let them also carry on their own calculations on Scope 3 emissions. So for the accounting of their own greenhouse gases development. So additionally, another third point, which is here in this slide, is the creation, as anticipated by Chiara, of our circular design guidelines, which are meant to define product innovation with sustainability and circularity at their core. And you can see the main concept of these guidelines in the right part of this slide. In the outer circle of this slide, you can see the main life cycle stages. We range from material selection, then we go to manufacturing, use, and end of life. In the inner circle, you can see instead the main pillars of these guidelines, and depending on their extension, they may apply to, they may be valid, let's say, for different stages of the life cycle. But I'm going to be more specific in the next slide. What we lastly want to highlight is that this exact framework is being used to evaluate our R&D projects. This means that when a new product is being developed, we verify the actual application of this principle, and in this way we can reward the development of particularly innovative and virtuous solutions with respect to this framework. And in order to communicate and facilitate the adoption of these concepts across the whole R&D function, we set up a set of training courses for our R&D personnel. So they moved beyond their own specific work to contextualize it into a series of ESG and pillars more related to sustainability. So providing an increase in their point of view, in their width of the scope of their analysis. And now, moving on to this next slide, we can see again these 5 pillars, but in terms of quantitative indicators that we monitor for each of them. This is very linked to eventually being able to communicate or evaluate and communicate the sustainability performance of our products. So, first of all, from the top to the bottom again, we start from energy efficiency and environmental footprint reduction. In order to evaluate this, we carry out LCA studies, life cycle assessment again. So we assess the carbon footprint of our products, and we emphasize improvements in energy efficiency, which are very relevant considering the type of products that De Nora manufactures. Then we also move to the detoxification pillar, and we evaluate this through the presence of hazardous substances, which is evaluated based on sector-specific restrictions and regulations. Then moving on again to critical raw materials, we evaluate the product composition instead in terms of criticality of the materials. Then we move on and we assess product longevity, durability indicators, and highlight innovations in repairability. And finally, at the end of life, we assess how much of a product can be reused. And this is linked to the external final communication of the performance of our products to customers, which is related to this, which is the template of our product scorecards that we are developing internally. The scorecard, as Chiara already anticipated, is a document containing key indicators that will provide a sustainability identity card for our products. This is just a sample version, but the main concept is that we can provide various indicators from carbon footprints to circularity measures to hazardous substances, mapping, and so on. But on the right of this template, you can see that we also can provide the positive impact derived from the use of our products. So decarbonization through our energy transition solutions, or drinking water production through our water technologies business, and so on. We can also highlight other types of initiatives more related to social, or even providing technical documents. So in summary, this is the scorecard. As Chiara already anticipated, we have the target of assessing 100% of our new products within this year, and by 2027 we have the target of assessing all of our products with this kind of template. And now we are moving on to involving marketing, business development, product managers functions towards an external communication of what we started building up on the R&D, so moving on from the conception of the product to the eventual communication and marketing. So I thank you all for, again, providing us the occasion to explain you our sustainability measures, and I hope this has been interesting to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Davide Rovelli, and in general, the NORA company, and for the presentations. So we move on to the last presentation for today. For this afternoon, Tamara Will, and who is a sustainability director at another different company, Italian company, DeLonghi company. Thank you very much, Dr. Will. I hope to pronounce correctly your surname. I don't know, in case you correct me. Okay, thank you very much for your presence, and let's start for your speech. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for this invitation. And it's an honor for me to be here to represent the DeLonghi Group during this very interesting event. I am pleased to have this opportunity to share with you our sustainability journey and our commitments for a more sustainable future. For those who may be new to us, the DeLonghi Group is a global leader, particularly in coffee maker machines, both in professional and domestic world. But we are also an important player within the area of nutrition, air conditioning, and home appliances. With more than 3.5 billion of revenues in 2024 and 10,000 of employees, we cover more than 120 countries worldwide through our 7 iconic brands. Our natural attitude and our DNA that is characterized by innovation drove us to invest more than 300 million euro within R&D in the last 5 years. So just a little bit of history. The company began his journey in 1974 with the first product that was an oil-filled radiators, and then we diversified our product range in 1986 with the global launch of the DeLonghi brand. That was boosted by a major sponsorship in F1. And then we launched Pinguino, our iconic product that is an air conditioner. In 2001, the company was listed at Milan Stock Exchange and entered the nutrition sector through the strategic acquisition of Kenwood and Ariete. In 2012, Brown Household joined the group, strengthening further our portfolio. And this laid the groundwork for building true market leadership. In 2020, we took over NutriBullet, a company leader in personal blender committed to health and sustainability, and in 2021 the acquisition of Eversys and La Marzocco allowed the group entering the professional coffee maker production. Our revenue is based on 52% on sales of coffee makers, 24% food preparation, 13% on care, comfort, others, that means air conditioning, heater, and so on, and 10% is due to professional coffee makers. But from a kind of great performance, I would like to move toward our sense of responsibility. And I'm really happy today to have the possibility to share with you what our sustainability purpose is. So you have seen at the beginning our small video that means switch on a responsible day. It means that we believe that a small gesture, a small initiative and action, we can make a big difference. So the company has been sustainable for a long time. We started in 2011 with our first solar panel park in Italy of 1 megawatt. And then after 14 years, we have integrated our sustainability strategy within our 3-year plan. And it is based now on 3 overarching commitments that are decarbonizing our operation and value chain, in particular focus through the commitment to science-based target. Then we are focused on creating sustainable products, and then to fostering awareness among communities, employees, and consumers. So what decarbonizing means for us? I here have reported some key achievements we got in 2024. These are just some of them. But for example, waste diverted from landfill related to our plant is 97% today. And all our plants are using electricity coming from renewable sources only. And in terms of energy intensity, that is the relation between number of units produced and energy used, has been decreased of 20%. We have also all our plants certified 14001. But one important achievement we had was the recognition by Science Based Target Initiative of our targets. So now we have a binding and real commitment to decrease our CO2 emission. And as a manufacturing of small appliances, this relies also on the energy consumption of our appliances. And this is linked also to the way the external energy structure will evolve. So we have to work with all the actors of the value chain if we want to reduce our emissions. In terms of sustainable products, we have 31% of our products that have a digitalized user manual. 72% don't have expanded polystyrene. And 23% of our new products have already been developed through the eco-design approach. That is a new way of working that has been developed with the support of a university. Here we relied a lot on the contribution of the academic world. And eventually, our fully auto coffee makers and pan have an energy performance very high, that is equal to class A or above. In terms of future objectives, also here, we would like to develop all the new products through these eco-design guidelines. We would like to have soon all our products made of at least 30% of recycled plastic. And we have a pilot on one specific product in order to have reduction of CO2 on packaging specifically. In terms of fostering awareness, among employees in particular, we are increasing the average training hours per employee. So 25 hours per employee on average has been done in 2024. And thanks again to the support of the academic world, that is one stakeholder we rely on a lot. In terms of sustainable behavior, we are pushing having a car fleet even more sustainable. Today, 43% of our car fleet is hybrid. In the future, we count to foster the presence of women in managerial positions that we hope it will reach 30%. Then all our plant will be certified 45001, so with a great attention to health and safety. And we will have our first product, we will develop a new product following inclusiveness guidelines. That means that the new product will consider also the different abilities, level of abilities of our consumers. And if we look at who would be relevant who is relevant within the green transition, we believe that there are three main actors. So institution, the private sector, and consumer. And for example, Kenwood, in these last decades, produced very different version, a generation of stand mixer. These stand mixer are characterized by having the same kind of attachments despite the different models that have been developed during time. This is a kind of enabler to influence the consumer behavior in order not to send to waste attachments. So they will be able to use the same attachments and spare parts in different types of product. In the same direction, we are investing a lot on the end of life of products. So in terms also of reparability, durability, and in this case, we are very proud to share with you that we launched a specific brand, Renova, that is focused on refurbishing and regenerated of fully auto coffee makers, so coffee makers in general. And this allows consumers to think about the second life of the product and try to buy a regenerated one. But as another example I would like to share with you today is what Brown did, one of our brands. Hate waste, love imperfect. So through the usage of a simple food processor, through our communication channel, we are trying to invite consumers to use imperfect food, to educate in using also something that typically goes to waste. And with the imperfect food, being able to get beautiful dishes. So this kind of journey we are trying to do together with our consumers will bring us from a sustainable products to a sustainable experience. Because as a manufacturing company, we have a responsibility to produce sustainable product, do it in a sustainable way, but also to influence and to guide our consumers toward a responsible behavior. And consider that we are able to reach 40 million new consumers every year. So we have really the opportunity to influence, and only together from vendors, institutions, consumers, we will drive this green transition. So that's all. I thank you for your attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Will, from DeLonghi and company group. And with this last speech, we concluded this panel and led by Bocconi University. Thank you very much again, Andrea Beltratti and Gianluca Manca. And And we conclude also and these two days and aimed at presenting and discussing the research, the project ongoing in order to build a sustainable university district in our different and 4 campuses in our university. I'd like to finish with a thank. I have many thank and to say. First of all, I'd like to thank professor and researchers, lecturer, and who attended these panels. As well as the representatives of the different companies that we met today. Thank you very much again. I'd like to thank the General Director of the MUSA and Dr. Vittorio Biondi. Thank you very much, Vittorio, and for your general managing. I'd like to thank the group of the representative of the different universities involved in the steering committee, and Andrea Sianesi and Emilio Faroldi from the Technical University, Polytechnical University. Thank you very much, Andrea and Emilio. And Paola Catenaccio from the University of Milan, and Andrea Beltratti from Bocconi University. Of course, Gabriella Pasi, our Vice Rector for Internationalization of the Bicocca University. And to finish, I'd like to thank again the local organizer of this Italian pavilion, and Professoress Rossella Menegazzo. Thank you very much, Rossella. Thank you very much. And for helping us, Dottoressa Annalisa Maffei, and all the student staff involved in the organization of these 2 days. And thank you very much again. I'd like to thank also the technical team and which supported us, and Marco Leonardo and all the technical team who supported us in this organization. And we had an audience, but also more or less 100 and the people connected in streaming. So we are very proud of this result. And before to conclude, I'd like to invite Professor Salvatore Torrisi and the coordinator of the MUSA project for the final greetings and for closing this workshop and these 2 days. Thank you very much, Salvo.
Thank you. It's very late, so I don't want to take your time anymore. I join Matteo in all thanks, everybody, technical staff, the technical staff and the organization, all the organization and colleagues who are have participated in these 2 very interesting and rich days. Sustainability from different perspectives, that is important. To me, it's very important to what we learn about our future. So there are many different dimensions, different experiments, and we started with Vittorio and the hub. We started to think about the future of MUSA beyond say December 2025. So we will be involving you in this exercise that we will start soon by discussing what next, what beyond the PNR, the Next Generation EU program, what we'll be doing, what is to be done, and we'll start by, say, listening to our the people in our community, in the MUSA community, but most importantly, to listen to external stakeholders or shareholders, MUSA stakeholders. So thanks again and see you soon. Arrivederci.
And to conclude, also thanks to Simone Caiello for supporting us in the organization all these 2 days, or in general. Okay, see you soon. Bye-bye.